Another practice is wrapped up at St. Joe, and there's a Kansas City rookie getting compared to a two-time All-Pro receiver by a national NFL insider. Not by a hot take account, not by a fan on social media, but by a name who covers the league for a living. I went through every rep, every quote, and every injury report from today, so you don't have to. Just some quick context before we get into it, but today's practice is what's known as a 10-10-10 practice. It's a lighter format Andy Reid has been using for years. Lots of coaches use it from his coaching tree. It's 10 scripted offensive plays, 10 scripted defensive plays, then 10 minutes of special teams work. It's designed to give the team a mental rep and a physical break all at the same time, especially after a stretch of harder, padded practices like we've had recently. So don't read today's lower intensity as anything concerning. This is by design. Let's start with the injuries as usual. Cyrus Allen and Xavier Worthy were both out again today, not back on the field. Drew Tranquill and Jeffrey Bossa, they're both currently classified as injured, even though neither of them should be anything major. Also, Mansoor Delane remains in the non-contact yellow jersey, and defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo addressed that today at his presser directly, saying the team is just being cautious with Delane's shoulder right now. They're actually trying to save him from himself at this point.
So we're trying to be a little cautious with the shoulder blade. And I think you guys saw him, he was out there today because we only had shells on so he could protect himself. The other 3 days with the shoulder pads, it was just really being safe, right? Protect him from himself because you put pads on and we don't want to set him back. But I did think he did a good job. You saw him in and out of huddles, getting everything mentally, tried to keep the conditioning up. So hopefully, we'll see where we are tomorrow because we put the pads back on, but that'll be Rick's call.
Even on a lighter day today, there was plenty to track across both sides of the ball. Up front, the first team offensive line kept rotating pieces in. Moore got work rotating in at left tackle, and Caliendo got reps at center, giving the coaching staff a longer look at depth in both spots. Khalil Benson stayed at right tackle with the starting group, continuing a trend that's been pretty consistent for him through camp so far. At receiver, the combination running with the ones was Rashee Rice, Jalen Royals, and Tyquan Thornton, since Worthy and Allen remained sidelined. On defense, the linebacker group with the first team was Cochran, Bolton, and McDonald, with Tranquill and Bossa both out. With the secondary, Kennedy, Delane, and Williams rotated through as the corners. At safety, Gilman, Roland Wallace, and Connor rotated the position. Noel Williams took every single rep at his position. He was the only player in that secondary group who didn't come off the field once. Special teams got its 10 minutes too, with gunners rotating through Jalen Royals, Noel Williams, Kyra Elam, Phillips, Caldwell, Kohu, Melvin Smith Jr., Weimer, and Knowles all getting run in that phase. Real quick, guys, if you're enjoying the camp coverage so far, do us a favor and hit that like button. Also, hit the hype. We're trying to get to 600 likes and 25,000 hype on this one. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that button now and don't miss anything coming out of St. Joe. And that brings me to Jake Brinningstool, who probably made the play of the day for a lot of people watching. It was a fingertip catch from Mahomes that got the training camp crowd up out of their seats. He had already been getting extra work with the starting quarterback and starting tight end group early in practice, so the connection wasn't out of nowhere. It's been a strong stretch for him. Let's just hope he can keep stacking days and maybe be able to make this roster as a tight end. Justin Fields also got to run with the first team offense today, alongside Armstrong, Wiley, and Holiday. Some people watching were wondering out loud if this was just a preview of who starts the first preseason game.
Yeah, it was more of a scout team day, but for the offense, we were trying to just, really focus on the details, the timing of, different routes, screens, and stuff like that. So really kind of a more chill day, but at the same time, you just got to lock in more mentally. It's a lot of different concepts. I will say this is one of the first offenses where I think most of the teams around the league, they run similar concepts and stuff like that, but just the things that we can do within a concept, the different options a QB has, it really kind of opens up a little bit. And then I've also seen, different concepts that I really have never seen before. So, it's been awesome to learn from Coach Reed and Pat and stuff like that. So, I've been, blessed with a lot of knowledge as I've been here, and I hope to continue to grow.
That's not confirmed anywhere. It's just a thought worth keeping in your back pocket as camp rolls on. And then things got a little chippy in the red zone drill, with a scuffle breaking out 2 different times in a row. Linebacker Jack Cochran, of course, and safety Chamari Connor were both clearly not happy about something, with defensive backs and receivers tangling before teammates stepped in and broke it up quickly both times. Nothing that carried past the moment, just training camp doing what training camp does in August heat. Soon after practice wrapped up with the team huddling up at midfield, which typically signals the end of the workday, that puts the Chiefs 2 days away from their next scheduled day off, with a physical Friday and Saturday expected before that, closing out this stretch of camp ahead of the first preseason game. Now here's the story from the top of the video. A recent report connected rookie receiver Cyrus Allen to veteran Stefon Diggs, noting real similarities in physical profile and play style, and calling Allen very much part of the offensive plan going forward for the Chiefs. It's a notable comparison on its own, but here's what makes the timing interesting. Diggs was a free agent. We all know that. A lot of us wanted them to sign Stefon Diggs. But then the Chiefs never did that. He ended up signing with the Commanders yesterday. The real question is, was it purely a coincidence that Kansas City stayed out of the Diggs market around the same time that they were connecting his game to their own rookie? It seems likely that KC took a look at what they already had in Allen and said, hey, we have Stefon Diggs at home. We don't know that for certain, and it is worth saying the other side too. Allen hasn't played in a padded practice yet, and some around the league think a full veteran comparison is premature for a rookie who's still working through a shin injury. But both things can be true at once. The talent is real, and it's also very early.
Okay, so I'm buying stock, but I'm trying to be hesitant, if that makes sense.
I'm buying 50 million shares. He's the hottest name in camp right now. Get your Cyrus Allen jerseys.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm buying a lot of stock in Cyrus Allen. Trust is there with Mahomes. That's enough to sell for me.
I don't want to overstep my bounds and say this dude is going to be great when he ends up being fine.
I'm buying some stock, a little bit of stock. I'm not investing wholeheartedly in Cyrus Allen, but I think he has a chance to be a good wide receiver 4 or 3 for this team, and there's value in that.
Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's episode. Today we're going to do a little NFL Week 1 action. We're going to take Derrick Henry versus the Indianapolis Colts, 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. We're going more on that. Derrick Henry is getting into the end zone Week 1. Jamar Chase versus Tampa Bay, 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdowns. We're going to take more on that as well. And then down here at the bottom, I see our boy Kenneth Walker out of the Kansas City Chiefs versus Denver on Monday Night Football, rushing plus receiving touchdowns, 0.5. We're going more there as well. If you want to follow along with all of these picks, follow us at All Chiefed Up on Prize Picks. You can download the app in the description, and as always, use code HMA when signing up. Now back to the show.
And that's everything out of St. Joseph today. A bit of a lighter practice. At least there's weird stories like Cyrus Allen's name now sitting next to Stefon Diggs in the same sentence. So is that a pretty wild comparison? Or is it fair? You guys get down in the comments and let us know what you see in rookie Cyrus Allen so far. Also, what are you actually expecting him to contribute to the offense in his rookie season? If you want to see how that story plays out, if he actually is what they say he is, then hit that subscribe button now and stick around for more from All Chiefed Up. And if you want to see who was standing out at yesterday's practice, make sure to check this video out right here.
From your perspective, what have you seen from R. Mason Thomas in these early days?
Extremely explosive. You almost have to be offsides to kind of stay in front of him. So I think he'll definitely keep me and any tackle on their toes to make sure you're on the snap count for sure.